How's it going, everyone? We're back in front of you again. My name is Chris Thomas with inCity magazine, and I've been looking forward to this interview today. I call him my big bruh. He's a lot of people in the world know him as Judge Calvin Williams. How you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. How are you, Chris?
Good.
Thank you for the opportunity. Glad to be here.
Thank you for accepting.
Yeah.
Thank you for accepting.
Absolutely.
So, it's been, your schedule is incredibly busy. You're with as a family, as a working man, military. So, I'm thankful and honored to be able to have you.
Well, we're both pretty busy.
Well, I accept
Right.
that. I accept that. I'm very proud and to say that I have a really good relationship with Judge Calvin Williams. Judge Williams, Calvin, big bruh. As being an elected official, as a judge, and you were elected to that position because people thought that you would be the best person for that particular position, and we often, you and I often talk about, as far as being, how to be better people, and I seek out some advice from you from time to time. And, I was thinking about, serving with excellence. What does serving with excellence mean to you?
Well, I mean, service with excellence. Of course, I'm in the public service business. That's what I do. That's what I've done most of my adult career, even starting with the military on active duty to being law enforcement deputy sheriff for 7 years here in Montgomery, to being a district attorney or deputy district attorney, and now as a judge. If we're going to serve the public, then, and especially in an elected capacity, you got to do it with excellence, and that's not probably something you wake up with or that you go into the position with, but it's something that you strive towards daily. And it's just a continuing effort and a continuing process, because as we always say as humans, we're not perfect. So excellence is that pinnacle thing that you want to get to and that you always strive into. And so with that in mind, you want to conduct yourself in a manner that is going towards that goal of excellence, right? So you want to keep in mind that you're serving the community, you're serving the public. And in my particular position as a family court judge, I'm serving families and kids. And so they deserve nothing less than excellent, or a pursuit towards excellence. And so that's what I keep in mind, is that if I'm going to build strong families or mend broken families, then I have to go towards excellence. And I have to give them my very best, which is being excellent, right? My staff has to give them their very best. The attorneys that come before me and the attorneys that I appoint on particular cases have to give them their very best. And so all that goes towards excellence, because if we want to have a great community, we've got to give them excellent services to build that excellent or that great community. And so my goal is every day I go into the office is to go in with the mindset that, I want to do my very best. I want to make the very best decisions. I want to have the very best representation in my courtroom when folks come in. And if I don't, then I want to guide them in that right direction to be great. And it's all for the purpose of setting our kids up for success and setting our families up for success. So excellence is the goal to go towards. Even though you may not be there, it means everything to try your best to get there. And that's what I do every day.
Wow, that's wonderful. I've heard you do some public speaking a few times, and you often refer back to, from time to time, about Martin Luther King. How has, the example that Martin Luther King said, what he stood for, how has, you reflecting back to him and learning certain things, has that shaped your life?
Yes.
So, and how?
You know, Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. meant so many things to so many people and in so many different ways. You know, I've followed his speeches and, you know, listened to his speeches and followed his ministry as a servant leader here in Montgomery and throughout the world. And his impact has just been one that, you know, we can be great as a people. You know, we don't have to be less than who God intended us to be. You know, when he talks about, you know, in his March on Washington speech, that, you know, we won't be judged by the color of our skin, but rather by the content of our character, and that being his dream. You know, I could say as an elected official here in Montgomery, Alabama, right, the cradle of the Confederacy, yet the birthplace of the Civil Rights Movement, that I am living out Dr. King's dream. That, you know, it's not so much of my skin color that gets me where I am, but it's the content of my character, right? The people of Montgomery had faith and confidence in my character and in who I am as a person, not my race. And so, you know, when he puts forth that reminder as a dream that we can be anything, you know, we can be great. Whatever we do, we can be great because, you know, you can be great just by serving, and that's what I do. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And so I look at his concept of being great, his concept that, you know, you don't have to be judged by the color of your skin as a race of people, but by the content of your character. And it's up to you to put forth the right character so that you can be great and that you can serve the least of these among us. And that's what I try to do on a daily basis. So his impact on me is really about being a servant leader, because that's what he was. And that's what I daily strive to be, is that servant leader. It's not about me being in charge or being, you know, the one that's over everything, but it's about me serving the people in my community, being that servant leader, giving myself to the people of this community. And I think that's what Dr. Martin Luther King did, and that's what most impresses me about who he was, and what he represents.
Thank you for sharing with me. I guess it impacted you enough to where you wanted to join the same fraternity, you know, as him as well, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, of course, has a lot of great individuals. I mean, you have Thurgood Marshall, you know, you got Martin Luther King Jr., and there's so many other great men that are known and not known throughout the world that are alpha man. But certainly Dr. Martin Luther King stands out as one of the great ones. Now, did he have an impact on me joining this great organization? Well, perhaps. And it's something that, you know, we all want to strive to greatness, and that was an individual and a figure in our fraternity that stands out as one of our great leaders. And alpha man consider themselves leaders, and that's one model of leadership to follow. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Understand. Paint us an example, a day in the life of Judge Calvin Williams. Kind of give us
which day?
Well, I know it kind of could fluctuate from day to day. I guess a normal day, what you would consider to be a normal day. You know, what happens, you know, during that particular day?
Well, a typical day, which I'll go with the work day, Monday through Friday, is, you know, I mean, my day starts generally around, as far as work day, 9 o'clock a.m. is when the first case is usually set. So throughout the day, I have cases that are set from anywhere from 9 o'clock till, you know, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So cases are spread throughout. And so, you know, my assistant, she will set the cases at certain intervals based on whatever the issue may be, based on who may be involved, attorneys or non-attorneys, pro se parties. And we'll go through the day at, you know, based on what's set before me. I'll hear the case, I'll go into the courtroom, parties will be there, and whatever the issue is, I'll hear it. Those cases could last from anywhere from 1 to 2 hours at a time. And once the case is over, I'll leave the bench, go back into my office. I may render a decision right then based on what I've heard, the evidence that's been presented, or I may deliberate on it further because there's some unanswered questions. There may be some research that I need to do. And I'll go ahead and once all of that's done, I'll go ahead and publish an order of my findings and my judgment on the case. And that order is usually electronically filed, and the parties either get it through email or it's emailed up by the clerk's office to them. And I do that anywhere from 4 to 5 cases that day. It follows that routine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing. 2 weeks ago, you and I were at lunch, and I was curious, about, 'cause, for example, we are all humans, and sometimes things just irritate us. Sometimes sometimes it's going to rain on our parade. Things are not going to go the way that we would like or have wanted them to go. As a judge, it seems like, because you've been put into a position and people expect you to be excellence, as we spoke about before, how are you able to control the not so good days? I mean, can you, so that we can set our audience who are listening in, who are trying to figure out how to, not allow certain things to affect them, to impact them as far as on their days, allow them to not be as excellent as they should be. Are there some things that you have, some rituals that you have incorporated into your life or mindset about how to proceed forward with that and still go for excellence that our audience can learn from?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, judges are human. That's the first thing. We put on the black robe, but underneath the black robe is a human being that has the same issues and challenges as any other human being. We have to, however, when we're taking a bench and when we're deliberating on the case, that is very important, quite frankly, to the parties involved. We have to put aside those personal issues that affect all of us from day to day. And we have to focus on what the facts of that case is and what the law requires us to do, and put aside any personal, differences with whoever may be before us or any personal issues, because it's not about how I feel personally, right? It's about what the law says I must do in that particular issue or that particular case. So as bad of a morning or night as I may have had, those issues do not follow me into the courtroom. I'm very careful not to allow, any personal issue that may be going on at the time to impact my decision. And that's why sometimes I won't make an immediate decision on something. Right after I get off the bench, I'll put it on my desk, and it might sit there for a day or two or a week, because I'm not ready to yet deliberate on that, because I need to get some things clear. Mm-hmm. And so some of the ways I deal with that is quite frankly, I have a very strong religious life and foundation. I'm a deacon. I'm the chairman of the deacons ministry at my church, and I start my day off prayerfully every day that God will give me the strength and guidance to do what He would have me to do. And that goes a long way, because I truly believe it's not just Calvin Williams controlling the process, it's God guiding me through the process to that point of where I want to be as far as excellence and doing a great job for the folks in the community that comes before me and that I serve. So that's a big part of it, is my religious foundation and my religious belief. It's my upbringing as a child out of West Montgomery, raised by a single mother who's unfortunately not here to see her son, be a judge, but who one day dreamed that he would. So even in her passing, I tried to remember that she would want me to be a man of character and to do the right thing. So that guides me. And then, it's just personal things that I do, just, staying in shape, fitness, having an outlet to release some things that need to get off my chest. So I have a workout routine that I do on a daily basis, most days anyway. And so these things kind of keep me clear-minded and focused on what I need to do. And so that's kind of a ritual for me, so to speak.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for sharing. Let's hope that your experiences and striving for excellence and your your daily rituals and what you incorporate into your everyday lives helps our audience.
Absolutely.
You know, today. Is there anything else you want to add before we conclude?
Well,
you've already anyone you want to shout out? You've already shout out to Alphas.
I don't want to shout out to anyone except that, I appreciate the community. They invest a lot into me and a lot of trust and confidence in me. And so, I just want to do a great job and do what I'm called to do as a judge and as a leader in this community. And so I appreciate the confidence that the people of Montgomery have in me and allowing me to make Montgomery strong through strong families.
Judge,
thank you.
Thank you for serving with excellence. Thank you very much. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to inCity Magazine. Until next time, have a fantastic day.